Bam, we're here. Okay, welcome to a random MG Rogue Sunday broadcast. We're going to talk some D&D shit, some D&D crap, some tabletop stuff. We already got 6 people. Welcome, 6 people.
Welcome.
Yeah. Good to have you here, see? We were just discussing old school D&D, and I have some old school D&D artifacts to share shortly. But how's everyone doing? Rob, TJ, Robert, I should say.
Not doing too bad. It's been a long day. Today was one of my office days, so I was up at 4:30 and on the road by 5, and
Oh shit.
yeah, so long day today, but that's quite all right. I theoretically get to sleep in a little bit tomorrow, which is more than you can probably say.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
do not
doing
get to
well
sleep
other than
anymore.
that.
All right, cool. TJ, you?
I've been having fun. I found a new whiskey distillery that I can smoke at because it's outdoors, and the guy who runs it is this really cool dude who also smokes cigars. So I've got one of my new hangouts on the weekends because that's when they're open. But it's been really foggy, and my motorcycle right now is my only means of transportation. So I'm not, and I live near my main route is on a state highway, so. Eager to get to kind of spring when it's, cold weather is not bad on a motorcycle. You just bundle up a little bit more. But when it gets foggy and wet, that's when, and also combine that with being dark. If it's dark and foggy.
That's not great motorcycle traveling weather now.
No. So, but yeah, I found a good place to start smoking again. I can't smoke in this house because the hardwood floors absorb the smoke and it'll stick around for a really long time. Whereas at my old house, they saw me smoking all the time because the walls didn't really absorb the smoke a whole lot. And I just don't want to have that be a problem if I decide to sell the house and move and all that kind of stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's been a good week and had a lot of stuff that I wanted to get off the checklist for this year that's been accomplished so far. So it's been.
Oh, that's good.
I got some momentum going forward.
No more flooding issues.
No more flooding issues, and everything's been taken care of as far as just in the future. I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least I know it's not. If it does flood, and I don't have anything down there, and if I decide to renovate the basement when I have the capital to do it, I just know I might have a professional come in and do it just to make sure and have it certified like waterproof, because the walls around the in the basement, they were all done by professionals, so they've got that kind of stuff. So
I think you have a question directed to you, TJ, and he's mislabeled you. Geeky, that's TJ, not James. Or unless you're talking about Robert. James hasn't joined us yet. If he is at all, I'm not sure.
The sweater style, it's the flannel shirt, and then what I've got is I'll show it. It's just a little neck scarf that you can also make into a
it's a gaiter. They're great for motorcycles.
Yeah. I actually don't wear it on motorcycles. I wear a complete. It covers everything but your mouth and your. It can cover your mouth if you want. It's like a ski mask, but it doesn't look like the one that Rocco wears in Boondock Saints.
Gotcha. Robert, is that a one of those tank sweaters?
Yeah, similar. It's a civilian woolly pulley, basically. So it's not the military one. Although I do have a couple of military ones, one in black and one in green. But
they have the cross collar, what they call the shawl collar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got a sweater similar to that one. It looks a little weird if I'm not riding a motorcycle, because it's a commando, World War II commando with the patches on the elbows and everything.
Yeah.
And so, I can wear it on my motorcycle if I have got the underlying padding. I just haven't done it yet because I wear my black leather jacket, and the response I've gotten from women has been so universally positive that I'm going to stick with what works.
Yeah,
as well you should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the way.
Indeed. Let's get into some geek intel. So a little bit about my D&D history. I've talked about this before, but it's been a while. I first came across Dungeons and Dragons on old TV commercials, and then watching other fellow schoolmates play AD&D in the lunchroom. I didn't officially. Well, let me back it up. I started playing the electronic Dungeons and Dragons. I played the Dungeon board game, which was beautifully illustrated by Jim Rosloff. I forget I think it was a 1979 cover, I think, or 78. Anyway, so I did that. There was a Hobbit game that my friend had. My friend Billy from around the corner. We played that. That was cool. But I didn't officially start dungeon mastering and playing D&D until 1983 with the Red Box set. That was amazing. Back then, D&D had there's a sense of awe and magic about Dungeons and Dragons that, for me, still persists to this day, despite all the bullshit that's surrounding it. Has not abandoned me, which I'm very grateful. So we started going to local conventions and whatnot. But I'll get into that in a moment. This is cool because before the internet, to order D&D things, you had to do it either online or the TSR mail, what's called the mail order hobby shop. I've got a catalog here, or you went to your local game store and purchased things there. This is a catalog from the spring and summer of 1985. Black and white, and they've got a list of everything that was in there, down to figurines and games. And this came out, I think, every spring and summer. It's like basically a quarterly thing. Mm-hmm. And Middle Earth stuff, Hero Games, Harris Game Designs, Game Theory and Design Incorporated, Game Designers Workshop, GDW, Flying Buffalo, all sorts of cool shit. And I was getting Dragon magazine, which I sold a lot of my Dragon magazines in the mid '90s. Which
really,
I'm kind of kicking myself. I had number 1.
Oh wow!
I use it to pay for cool vacations and stuff. I'm like, I don't really need these. They're just taking up space. Well, right. I should have held on to them. But my earliest Dragon magazine that I did save was number 78.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a weird, surrealistic cover. And then I've got, here's one of my Dungeon magazines, November, December 1989, issue number 20, volume 4, number 2. This is when it first came out.
Nice.
This was a cool one. There's because they had adventures in that you could run.
Didn't we kill one of those in Drew's game?
Yeah, I mean, not for nothing. This is an undead frost giant.
Yeah.
Let's see the name of this. Name of that. Yeah, it's called Ancient Blood. AD&D levels 3 through 5. 5 centuries is not long enough enough for a giant king to forgive a defeat or forget a curse. So this stuff was pretty cool. I have Dragon magazine number 123. I still saved.
Mm-hmm.
163. These are all from the 90s. Looks like an Elmore cover. And this was number 177. A bit of a glare there. Let's get rid of that glare. Glare. I hate the glare. It's coming off the screen. I can't help it. But back in the 80s, there was something called the Role Playing Game Association, the RPG Network, or RPG Association. And you got the newsletter, you got discounts on all the products in the TSR mail order hobby shop. You got news and events before everyone else did. And it was just kind of cool to belong to something, which TJ and I, and by extension, James and Robert, will be doing our own version of that. So stay tuned. This was the RPGA. This was mine. Expiration was 0192. So I got this probably in 0191. The RPG Network card. Pretty cool. And when I would go the one convention that I will show some Polaroid photos of, it was CocoCon 91. This is their program booklet. That was in Grantville, PA, about 3 hours. It was about 3 hours from our location. Oh, we're talking D&D shit. We'll talk about D&D shit more with you too, Aaron. Hang on. And this I got as the Grenadier models. I got a $5 gift certificate for attending one of the one of the tournament games, and just for being playing, I got a gift certificate. I doubt it's valid now, but this is from 1991.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, right. Let's see what else. What other cool shit? Oh, there was a. I forget who made these. These were neat, and I forget where I got it from. This is for your character. The DM gave out from the armory. It's called a certificate of death for your, for your character. Andrew, yes, I got this stuff in not the 1900s, you son of a bitch. The 1991. Here you go. The little I guess it was frameable, a small frame. RPG Network, the certificate. What else is in here? More night games, another catalog. And then when Gygax was ousted in 80, I want to say 85, 84, 85, not long after that, he started his own magazine called Gateways. This is one of the issues. In fact, what issue is this? It's a swimsuit review. Oh, I hesitate to even look at that. This is number 12. So that was kind of cool. But there's some interesting artifacts. But from that CocoCon 1991 that my friends and I drove up to, all packed into my Dodge Aries K car. This is from the room we had, number 337 of the Granville Holiday Inn, which was basically the Holiday Inn and a gas station and convenience store, and that was it. And there was just like mountains around us. There's like nothing there. It's pretty fun. And see, this is we were.
So is that in the Poconos or?
It was in the Pocono areas, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So as you can see, oh my God, a black guy's playing D&D. Holy shit! Yes, we were indeed inclusive.
No,
I know, right?
No, everything was ist and ism back in the day.
I know, right? Exactly. So we didn't give a shit about inclusion and diversity. All that shit happened organically because we had a love of the game. And
you might even like the guy too.
And we liked the guy. We didn't give a shit what the fuck color he was. It's like, all right, he likes to play. Come on board. You're not a Spurg. Come on, we're gonna play. So this was we did late night gaming during the CocoCon 91 and just hung out. And you can see I'm on the opposite. I'm on the right hand side, sitting in the chair, kind of facing. I'm next to the dude in blue, my friend Rich, and it's like 2 or 3 in the morning. And when there was open gaming, I just ran a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool.
What's the furthest you've driven for a convention? You said you drove 3 hours to get to this one.
Yeah, all local things. Anything that was in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York. I've gone to conventions in Rhode Island and stuff like that. But we were going to do the 25th anniversary, which I think was also in either 91 or 95. I think 91 for Gen Con.
Mm-hmm.
But that got canceled. Exactly, Bull Rush. We gave a shit about the content of his character, not the color of his skin.
Yep.
This fucking stupid shit that we have to deal with now.
So the opposite of modern day corporate employers in the U.S. government.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, the S and them was being a part of the group that being one of the friends, being one of the people in your gaming group, and then the them was everyone who wasn't in your gaming group.
Absolutely.
It didn't matter what country your dad came from. It didn't matter if your parents were married or divorced. It didn't matter what your faith was. It didn't matter, our shared language and our shared love of the game, which branched out into other things because, oh my God, we also collected comic books. Someone may have been into Marvel, someone may have been into DC, but we collected comic books. We liked the similar types of movies. We listened to similar types of music. It was just our similarities and interest are what brought us together, not what boxes we checked off on some blue-haired land whales PR person for a major convention organization.
Exactly. That wasn't even a thought.
Mm-hmm.
We had it didn't even enter into the conversation. There was no politics in the game, and that's the sadness that's been brought to the game now. I hesitate to use the word community, but just the game now is the politics.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's two different types of being inclusive. There's what you have is a situation where what we're describing, where you're including people, but with standards. Like, what standards are you creating to have people part of your group? Where's got the music going? Anyways, I have no idea what that was about.
StreamYard now has background music you can add.
Oh boy,
it's kind of cool, which would be good for D&D. But go ahead, keep going.
Think about, like, if boys left alone to their own devices, they form their groups and then they have a pecking order, and the kid who's the best, he's in charge, and kids are included. The boys are included, but they have to prove themselves to be part of the group, and it's based on standards that men value, which is all these different things. Like, are you cool to be around? Are you good at the game? Are you fun to be around? That kind of thing.
Well, one of the main things, TJ, with that is, can you take a fucking joke?
Yes, exactly. Are you a humorless?
Yeah.
Do you have a sense of humor? And that's one of the problems when you bring the feminine or female. I don't want to say feminine, but I guess effeminate is the best word. You bring in effeminate concepts of inclusivity. I would otherwise not be allowed to be a part of your group, so you need to allow me to be in, and I'm going to impose my values from the top down, meaning. Yeah. Everybody needs to be included on a separate criteria.
Well, here's the thing: is women and mangina men don't understand masculine dominance hierarchies and how men actually interact with one another. So, women coming into a male space, okay, they're going to be uncomfortable because we're calling each other dickhead and we're joking around and making and that's how they don't like that makes them uncomfortable, because that's not how they communicate. That's completely alien to them. So they want to feel comfortable. Hey guys, can you do, and the guys wanting to get laid capitulate. So now it's become this weird, subdued, dumbed down version of their game. Or the comic book shop, or what have you. That's just what happens. So that's where everyone talks about the gatekeeping. Well, one of the reasons why I don't allow women at my table, for that very reason. Now, I know some people are going to say, yes, there are women out there that are like one of the guys. Okay, well, there's 5 of them, and they have a newsletter that they put out twice a month. Mm-hmm. I get that. That's completely fine. And if you want to do that on your table, go right ahead. I'm not gonna try to legally legislate you from not doing that. That's fine. At my table, no, because the dynamic changes. No matter how tomboyish the woman is, or one of the guys the woman is, the dynamic changes unless it's specifically written down or agreed upon. You all sit down and go, hey, we're saying this, so we're going to do this. Are you okay with that? Because if you're not, you got to get lost.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the whole friends with benefits type thing, or sorry, not that, where people say, can men and women be friends? No, in like 99% of cases, they cannot. What happens is one of them is interested in the other and just pretends like they're friends, and they're only interested in being friends.
they have a hidden agenda.
So like every time I've talked with a girl or with a guy who's like, oh, we're just friends, I'm like, no, are you interested in her? Is he interested in you? And then they would immediately say, they would acknowledge that, like, yeah, deep down, or they would say, yeah, I know she likes me. Okay, you are friends with her, she is not friends with you. So when they say, oh, well, she's one of the guys, no, they're inevitably going to want to change stuff. And
well, that's it. I mean,
I was just reading a book about this guy who's dealing with, it's 1960s West Virginia coal mine town, and there's this very young, very attractive, very intelligent engineer, female engineer, who wants to be going down into the mine, and he works down there, and he's, you know, after he's done with his shift, he's talking about his interactions with the other coal miners down there, and he describes her as just sitting there with a blank face, not understanding the dynamics between men at all. And so it was very obvious that this was an intelligent gal, like she was genuinely smart, and she understood the engineering part of being a miner. But there was a reason why they didn't want her down there, and it's because you can't have people who don't understand or know how to interact with the other people. You know, he was talking about the practical jokes.
Not only that, it's a fucking physical detriment. It's a safety issue too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's I just was reading this book and thought it was funny because, you know, people would initially would look at it and say, oh, this is a strong, independent woman. I'd say someone who you can have them do engineering work, but there's a reason why you keep them segregated by gender, because yes, they can do that part of the work that doesn't involve being around other people, but you can't have someone down there. For example, swap out the gender and put a guy in there who doesn't understand other guys. They're not going to want them down there either. Like this, men don't just discriminate against, like in a natural hierarchy. They don't just want it to be exclusively male. They want it to be exclusively men that meet a certain
competent
criteria.
There's a competence level, absolutely.
Right.
And Bulrush is right. The dynamic change happens at a fundamental subconscious level, because we have to bring it back to complete biology.
Mm-hmm.
Men want women, men want sex, men want to fuck women. If you remember that in every interaction that you are about to engage in, you're going to understand the psychology of what you're about to go into with a man and a woman. That's
right.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be there, and that's fortunately or unfortunately, that is at the gaming table. That is always fucking there at some level, even if it's minuscule. It's
even if it's a fat chick.
There's
I'm
always
joking.
Another,
I'm joking.
They
They all go for the chick.
It doesn't matter, because the fat guy's like, oh, I got a chance with the fat chick.
Well, so that actually brings up the other problem,
and they're usually always fat anyway. So,
well, but this is where the problem that I think a lot of guys need to, when they have these groups, need to understand.
Speaking of fat chicks,
if you have a guy who's trying to get a girl to join the group, that guy is also part of the problem, because he's already he's already shown his hand. He's trying to undermine the integrity of the group, and maybe you give him a warning to say, hey, like, if you want that kind of group, there are other places you can do that. But if he keeps persisting, it's not about that one girl. It's about the fact that he's wanting to change the group structure for the worse, because he thinks that's good. And that means that he's probably not good for the group. And it also means that guys need to do more in-house, I don't want to say gatekeeping, but we need to be better at policing our internal spaces, because what happens is a lot of guys just get lazy. They say, oh, it's not a big deal, or it just, when the group of men have been weakened to the point where they can't stand up to these problems, that's what happens.
Oh, it's true. James, you want to read this one by Geeky?
My Geeky. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Unclear.
Alrighty, so one of the things my group bros did in college was to apply icy hot to our Johnsons. There was no woman that could handle that.
That's probably true.
You guys ever have that happen to you?
No.
Oh,
but
God,
I can only imagine.
Most pain. Like, I had to hold my inside of my leg. I'm like, I'll just put on some Ben Gay, and dude, it is the most painful thing ever.
It's weird though, isn't it? It's a weird pain.
You're like, it got a little bit over on Mr. Righty, and then like you're doubling over in pain.
Really?
And you can't. Yeah, you can't get it off. It was one of the most.
Even if you would you like jump in the shower?
No,
it's waterproof. Yeah, it just has to go through its process, like a conversation with TJ. It'll end when it ends.
Slowly burning your balls off.
May I introduce something very recent that's very relevant to this topic we're talking about?
Oh, Christ. Sure.
Okay, so I had a client, and you can find this video over on my YouTube channel. He is a serious DM, or I would say professional, except for the point that he's not paid, and he'll run campaigns that last multiple years.
Oh shit!
And so he's, I think, from our generation, maybe a little older, and he was having trouble finding people. Like, he required them to fill out a form, like a character sheet, have it to him by a certain time, and all of them except one got it to him on time. And he asked me, he's like, "Look, should I just cancel it with everybody and then try and find some new people?" And I said, absolutely, because and forget whether a woman is in the dynamic or not. That really doesn't have much to do with it. What it has to do with is overall lowering of quality of your average American or Westerner. But as it pertains to especially the tabletop gaming community, no one today goes and plays tabletop games for the games. Unfortunately, the majority of people now go there to do anything but play the game and use it as a LARP to showcase and perform and be a comedian or display their knowledge or their expertise of the rules or be witty or to live out their either real or made up non-binary gender fantasies in La La Land. And it's like, and any seasoned or good, I would say, RPG or RPG player doesn't want to play the character that's like them, that you'd like to play something different. You don't want to like always be yourself and live vicariously through a fictitious person. But these people are such losers and so mentally ill that the game is quite secondary. It's just a tool to jerk themselves off with. So then when you throw in a girl, yes, now no one's going there to play the game anymore. They're going there to impress the girl with their wonderful knowledge of 4th edition or whatever.
The Secret Kings come alive.
And me lady, and I'll protect Amy, and
which white knighting is very appropriate.
Right. Everyone's a paladin now. And it ruins the game. So I had to tell him, I'm like, look, and I told him, look, I could do an advertisement for you. But even in the comment sections, people were like, I will pay $50 to join a game that is spurg free and drama free and mentally ill free and or just, immature child adult free. And so there is a market for people who want to play the game, whatever that may be, Battletech or
Vince, right?
Right.
And I was telling them, like, it's getting to that point where it's like, I was like saying, do a cover charge, have people send in resumes.
TJ and I have an answer to that, which will.
I'd love to hear it because I think this is a problem that many people who are serious gamers face.
Exactly. We're not going to go into too much detail, but TJ and I, and by association, Robert and James and a few other people, we're creating a tabletop gaming fraternity, as it were, that will be exclusive and by invite only.
So I'll throw something out there that, Aaron, you were just talking about with the gaming and the just lack of emotional maturity. This is why the lack of cigar lounges in my area. I just discovered one that is outdoors where I'm able to smoke. It's at a whiskey distillery. And I've never had a bad the people I interact with, the men, it's all men. They're smoking cigars for the most part. And we have very good, intelligent conversations. And people are emotionally mature enough to where when they realize that they're saying something that bothers someone else, they are discreetly like change the topic and we move on to something else. And people aren't just there to argue. And I think that that's what a lot of men are looking for in different venues or areas of life is I just want to hang out with other men who are emotionally well-adjusted, who are psychologically stable and have an emotional maturity level above
at a job.
Right. And so they're just denied a lot of the traditional spaces. And so that's, I think, one of the, you were saying that how, a lot of people go there, they don't go there to play D&D. They go there to do anything but play D&D. I think in the future, a lot of men will go play tabletop games and do other things, not just for the actual pastime, but also so that they can have meaningful social interactions with other men who
bonding, camaraderie, of course. Yes.
Yeah. I think that it's not as tangible as offering auto mechanic services, but offering a venue and a space for men to do that. I think I don't know how you measure an economic value, but I think it's going to be, once it's tied to people's mental health or their emotional health, like male loneliness after a certain age is a major health crisis. So that's, people can just say, like, you're spending this much a month to hang out with us and it's going to improve your health because you're going to have good relationships and develop good friendships. You can spend that with us, or you can spend all that money on healthcare when you get older.
Yeah. No, that's true. There was a Nonstop Dre asked about a D&D campaign. I dungeon mastered a D&D campaign that lasted for 5 years. I was running my group, the Wandering Company, in Undermountain in the Forgotten Realms by Waterdeep. So yeah, it can be, you could run a game for 4 hours. You can run a game for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, my original gaming group ran pretty much from time I was in about 6th grade till high school graduation. And that was a multi-level group, because there was the group that was my friends that attended my school, so the guys I grew up with. And then we had this larger group because a buddy of mine had a cousin that played. So his core group and my core group were kind of integrated. So we had one huge shared world where we all played different characters or ran different characters. We had a villains campaign. We had our primary campaign with our hero type characters. And so pretty much every weekend, frequently during the week after school, networking via the phone, in German class, writing notes to each other in the Dwarven runes from the Lord of the Rings books. D&D was going, when Jethro talks about one time, yeah, we did that. And we did that for almost a decade. It wasn't until graduation, marriages, enlistments, and things like that, unfortunately deaths as well, that the game came to an end. So yeah, or you can have a group of guys you play with like one summer, in your high school year, and that's it. I've heard of guys who've had, that's the sole total of their D&D experience was playing it one summer because a buddy got it for Christmas, and then we started playing that summer, and then went back to school and never played it again. So it varies from person to person.
It's funny. There's a meme going around, or like a photo, or it says something effective. This was the last time your friends gathered together to play, and you didn't realize it was the last time.
I know exactly what that is.
It's like, right, Aaron? It's like
It's 1998. You have your Nintendo 64 and GoldenEye. You just ordered 5 pizzas and some beer, and your guys are coming over for a LAN party. You don't know it yet. But this is the best times of your life, and it was 100% right.
Dude, you're like giving me like some tears right now. Stop.
Yeah. Well, it gave that, both those really struck me, but then I decided, I'm kind of at the same time trying to make sure that is not the best time of my life. I know it's not entirely serious, but I mean, the reason why is because everybody just came over. You were not worried about the cares of the world. You weren't worried about the cost of, you weren't worried about inflation or housing prices. You weren't worried about health insurance. The only thing you were worried about was just, some very basic stuff in life, and and you didn't realize how much the world you thought that existed didn't actually exist. And it was a good point. I remember actually the last time when that one photo was talking about the last time you hang out with friends. I remember that. I remember the night. It was right before it was summer, before we headed off to college. And everybody was talking about kind of what their hopes were for their futures and all that stuff, and things weren't the same. So
no, it's true. I think part of it too. I mean, we keep talking about this because we're old fucks, but it bears repeating because it's very poignant, and Aaron can relate to this, and so can Robert. We didn't have the internet.
True.
There was, I mean, we wanted to play D&D. Somebody was mentioned about someone in the chat saying they forced their cousins to play. I mean, when I picked up the Redbox set in 1983, I remember going to a warehouse department store called Best, and on the end cap they had D&D stuff. And my mom drove us, my brother and I, over, and I, with my lawn mowing money, I picked up the Redbox set, and I devoured that shit. And shortly after that, as Christmas gifts, I got the AD&D character record sheets, the Grenadier miniatures, and all the all the AD&D books.
But do you have the gold box set?
I used to have the gold box set. I had every D&D product, and I sold most of it. I still have 2 large chest-sized containers of stuff, but I could have been the TSR.
Were women
hobby
involved?
Nope.
Good.
No.
That's at least a plus.
Nope. There was no. It was all for my vacations.
Okay.
Financing my vacations, and just saying, hey, I don't have room for this shit. I need to get rid of it. Not realizing now that it's now worth its weight in gold, and just I kicked myself for the nostalgic aspect of it. So, but we didn't have. I mean, you wanted to find players. You either had your friends in the neighborhood, which I did, my brother and my friends in the neighborhood, John and Billy, or you went to the hobby shop, which there were few and far between, or a comic book shop, and on a bulletin board they had announcements, and on those announcements were, hey, need a dungeon master, here's a number to call, or hey, need some players for a D&D game.
Those 3x5 index cards at some places, that you posted. Yeah, because there weren't dedicated game stores per se in a lot of places. I mean, your best chance of finding anything miniature related or gaming was sometimes at like a hobby store, which was primarily focused to like RC cars or train sets. But you would have some really, really nice ones that would have a small selection of D&D product.
Exactly. Well, I was mentioning too with the RPGA Network with their monthly newsletter, the print wrapper that it came in, because it was a glossy newsing, but it had a print wrapper. We had your mailing label, your mailing address on it, and everything. But that was the classified section in the RPGA convention news. I still have it. I'll have to show it, but it was from 1991. It not only did it have the CocoCon convention that we went to, the advertisement for that, but I had placed a classified advertisement for a RPGA Network themed membership club that I created in 1990 called the Maple Shade Gamer Society. I still have that advertisement, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think the best I can do is I've got a couple letters published in a comic book.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that stuff is kind of cool because that was the only way to procure players or DMs.
Could we, I mean, now that our generation, the analog generation is old enough that we have money, or certainly the time, unless we screwed it up and got married and divorced with kids that aren't ours, could we almost say that now, because we're the only serious ones, that we could afford it? Like we could form our own guilds on, like you guys are doing? Yeah. Because I mean, I'm sure there are some young Gen Zers and millennial types that would like to play D&D, and seriously so. And maybe they could scratch up the cash to go ahead and pay. But I'm really kind of digging the idea, like, no, you got to have money to play, and you have to pay to play with a serious group of people.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Okay, good. I think there's a huge market.
There will be a yearly membership. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be exorbitant, but it's going to cover the cost of the hall or the place where we have the event, and then any food or drink. It'll be essentially the conventions will be held. We're going to have a convention once a year where we play tournament style AD&D games and other games that are just old school. They will be in a different state and different location every year. So we're going to move around the nation playing these games with an exclusive guild / men's fraternity.
That sounds great.
Yep.
You know what? And I bet you here's another thing. And this was in the real world. I bet you're not going to have rules about showering and using deodorant.
Well, we probably will, actually.
What? No. Not if you set it at $1,000 a year. What, you think so?
It's not we're not charging $1,000. We're not charging $1,000 a year, but you have to have fucking deodorant.
I don't care if you 20 grand.
You are a degenerate, derelict fuck.
What kind of spurgs are you trying to gatekeep out? If like you have to write in the rules.
Aaron doesn't even play. Aaron doesn't even play D&D anymore.
Use deodorant.
Hold it. I'm not making that up. There was one of these Gen Con, Game Con, Nerd Con going on. Yeah. And so I'm saying if you have I don't know what you're going to charge, but anything above $100, you're gonna get people that know how to bathe, have social etiquette and grace, probably have a job. Plus, they got to book the flight to get out there, and they got to get a hotel. I think it's a brilliant idea. But yeah, no, I'm not.
No, I understood what you were saying, Aaron. You were saying we're not going to have that problem of. Yeah.
Correct.
We won't have to have it at the con or put it in the brochure or whatever. Be sure to bathe and put on deodorant because those people will have been gatekeeped out of the group before we even roll around to getting to a convention.
Yeah, and to answer Chris's question, very true. Anyone who's going to DM for us or run games, they won't be charged the regular membership subscription. That'll be their payment, as it were. Free food, drink, and convention fee and membership. The membership also is going to include, you're going to be a part of something. I mean, at the very least, it's kind of cool. That's exclusive. The convention itself that will cover the cost of the hall, and we're putting out a newsletter, a physical newsletter, which will be mailed to you, a magazine-style newsletter quarterly, along with a membership card, a serious membership card, and certificate, like the old school RPGA style.
Awesome.
I like that idea. TJ likes that idea.
You're not going to have Punch Riot being the ones to publish this, though, right? Because people
no.
get it on time.
I already. Nick, you son of a bitch. That's right. No, I found a company that will It's very pulpy as far as the paper is concerned. It's going to be very physical feel. But it'll be a physical magazine with articles and photos and reviews. And I already have some writers on board for this. So more information as things happen. More information will be released. We'll get Aaron on board too. We'll have Aaron will be. I'm
already. I love this idea.
Cool. All right. Excellent.
Can I have one question? Will there be physical requirement, like physical trials?
Physical trials,
like you got to run a mile in under 12 minutes. You got to do 50 push-ups, and
you have to do at least 10 pull-ups and 25 push-ups.
Yeah. Can I be the drill instructor?
You can totally be the drill instructor.
Maggots. That'd be great.
Well, and the thing to consider, I mean, Vince hasn't talked prices or anything yet, and we're not going to do that tonight, obviously. But just to buy a 4-day con badge for Gen Con this year, $125.
And that's not including all the extra stuff.
That's just buying the badge. That's not food. That's not drink, or anything else. Plus, guess what? If you want to attend Gen Con as it stands right now,
sign
this year,
fucking sexual harassment waiver.
You have to present your vaccine passport because we
all
know how important getting your vaccine is. And all that. So you've got to do that, and I believe they've still got a mask mandate, even though we don't have those in Indianapolis.
No, we're not doing any of that shit. This is going to think of the old private exclusive cigar clubs and men's clubs of the 1800s. This is going to be that, but D&D.
Right.
So and after the D&D game, we're going to go out to eat. We're going to go to cigars. We're going to enjoy. This is going to be a good time. It's going to be. You're gonna want, and when you think about it, and the price that we're going to be having it for is going to be ridiculously small. So, yeah.
So, like I said, just and $125 just to buy your con badge for Gen Con, plus all the other things you've got to do.
Yeah.
So you're getting a con out of your membership, plus stuff between the time you join and the time of convention. So
exactly, you get your member.
Vince has a lot of stuff planned. TJ has a lot of stuff planned. so it should be really interesting. So it's
especially when you
something-
require they run 5 miles nonstop in order to join. I think
Yeah,
that'd be
with
a bag of books.
yeah.
Well,
with
see,
a-
that's it. I mean, Cigars and Dice Club. I mean, not for nothing. We're going to keep. It's going to top out of the membership is going to be limited. This
Mhm.
isn't going to go into like 100. Maybe 100 people, maybe 100 guys, maybe we'll see. But I can rent out cigar shops and for the day, and we could have the convention in a cigar lounge. We could have it upstairs. There's a couple pubs that people I know that run them. I could rent out the top halls and have the bar wenches be running downstairs for our food and drink while we're playing. So
You know what's it's immediately gonna advertise itself. And when you say no women allowed, it's just, I mean, and you know what's gonna be great? No one's gonna care. Be like, no, F you. We don't care.
yeah, pretty
too
much
bad.
it's private.
Yeah.
It's too bad. Go fuck yourself.
Private.
Yep.
Go
You
do
want?
your
Hey,
day, go-
ladies, go do your own convention.
Do your own
Let's see how
convention.
well that works.
No.
Yeah. Real fast, James. You want to read this? Thank you, Tempest.
So the temp is 5555 for $5. Says, "Good afternoon, you bundles of sticks. Get everyone to sign that they understand no spurgery will be tolerated." Honestly,
Well-
that's just what the deodorant is for. Just
Exactly. It's no
legitimately
spur
just
deodorant.
put a sign up that says deodorant, smell nice, be showered, and be acceptably dressed, unless you're doing
Yeah.
a cosplay.
Well, the thing is,
I
it's
don't know if that would be appropriate for the.
I know, right?
That's
Well, not only that, but this is going to be. We're going to have to approve you. You can't just sign up and go, "Hey, I paid the fee and let me in." No. There, in some way, shape, or form, we have to vet you. We have to vote on you. You're going to put your money where your mouth is, and you're not going to be a dickhead. That's how it goes. So anyone who's in the chat that we've interacted with, people obviously, anyone who's on Masculine Geek Life is going to get a 50% discount right off right there. So if you're in Masculine Geek Life, a subscriber, you get a 50% discount right off the bat. So
That's the cool kind of gatekeeping that needs to start to come back with other kinds of stuff. You don't
Exactly.
see that anymore. Like
How,
it used to be
Well,
all
you
the
do.
time.
It's
that
just
really
that
said
we're the
needs to
ones
start to
getting
come
filtered.
back with other kinds of stuff. You don't see that anymore. Oh, echoing.
is that you, Nick? You're the wild card.
How could it be me?
I don't know. You boomer fucking
We,
technologist.
we blame him.
Yeah.
But no, just to button down my point, it was something that was looked upon by guys that finally got accepted by maybe not the fraternity, but like a cigar club or golf club or whatever it was. It was
Mhm.
cool back then, and you really were filtered out, and you really were gate kept. And if you didn't get in, you got publicly shamed. You didn't get stoned to death or anything ridiculous, but that was just the way things were, and it made people better. And this is
Exactly.
cool stuff.
Well,
Dude.
especially the guy that
Thank
vouched for you. You know, if someone
Oh,
vouches
yeah.
for you and say, "Yeah, he's
Don't
he's a
fuck
good
this up for
guy,"
me.
and you know, not only is he screwed, but he's just screwed you too because you vouched for him. You recommended
And that Nick brings up a great point. Shouldn't we take kind of a lesson from all the fraternal orders, like how they induct new people? Like you have to be nominated.
That's exactly what we're going to be
alright,
doing.
alright.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be, there's going to be, like I said, someone has to vouch for you. Like Nick will say, "Hey, I don't want to join, but here's a friend of mine who plays D&D. I can vouch for him. He's a good guy and he wants to sign up. Is that cool?" Absolutely.
What about the scenario where, like, let's say TJ has someone that he wants to vouch for? Let's say Dre has TJ vouch. Can I counter vouch against Dre because I know he's a douche? And he's only hoodwinked.
Yeah,
TJ,
you can blackball him.
Yeah. We get
blackball by Cappy.
Okay, all right, blackball. All right.
He's just going to "I don't want anybody here."
Yeah.
No, just not Dre. It'll be called the Not Dre Club, and then we'll be like,
Not
"Hey,
Dre
man, we're
Club.
not Dre." Is the whole existence of our chapter. All right.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, you need to have hierarchy in this thing so that only the
Mhm.
people that have risen up can blackball.
yeah.
Exactly.
It's got to be like that.
Yeah, if
Aaron
it-
just likes saying blackball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what we do is like put up, anyone puts up the one, you're out.
Exactly.
if
Well,
you-
I mean, you're going to have an exclusive membership card. I mean, it's non-transferable, as it were. You have to show it. It'll give you discounts for stuff too, anything as far as the convention is concerned. But it's going to be a very exclusive It's going to be a tight ship, but I think we're going to have fun. And these kind of small venue men's clubs are needed. They're much needed. So
will there be like the champagne with the steak and the dining and the drinking?
Well, we'll be drinking, but I don't know about champagne, you homo.
What's wrong with champagne?
Well, if you win, hey, if your D&D table wins the tournament, because we're going to do tournament style, we're going to have someone come up with either a homegrown D&D module, or maybe we'll run one of the old ones, like a Tomb of Horrors or whatever. So let's say there's 12 members, all right, to start off. There'll be 2 tables of 6 with 2 dungeon masters and 6 players at each table. They're playing the same game, but it's tournament style, so it's timed. It'll be anywhere between 3 and 4 hours, and you have to obviously complete the mission, complete the module. If you don't, that's fine, but it'll be point based. Whoever has the most points at the end gets the prize.
Could you imagine the modern day Spurg version of this? Like you win a trophy if you got out of the bar. You get a like set a place up after that if you actually rolled your dice in an action, and then like if you left the town, you won,
Oh no, with some of these Spurgs, it's like while you were at the pub, you got the waitresses to form a union and no longer be called wenches, and
right.
They're
bar wenches.
You brought down the burgermeister of the village and replaced him with a women's council that governs everything, just like they do in New Zealand and Australia, where everyone's on back to being a penal colony. So right. That's modern stuff. But Vince,
if anybody just listen to that, they're not gonna, or anything that we've been saying for the past 5 minutes, they're gonna think we've never opened a rule book in our life.
Yeah.
That's our life. It's which is worth noting, whether or not you're gonna focus on proposing an actual game to people rather than in opposition to something that ostensibly exists. It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
The Giant Lands people, the new TSR that tried coming back recently, I got to watch that controversy die out in all of 10 minutes because they focus so much of their marketing on we're not woke, we're not this.
Oh no, we're not focused. There's not going to be the things that we're talking about now is not going to go into our marketing campaign.
No, okay. We're just BSing and being sarcastic.
We're just this is all facetious shit. But it is going to be an exclusive tabletop gaming club for men.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. And it will be members only. So there you go.
That's
right. Promised me I'd get to be like the sergeant at arms or the house whip.
We're gonna dress you and Robert. People. You and Robert are gonna be dressed up in armor, yeah.
But the bulldogs, we scare away the weak.
Exactly.
All right, yeah. Good. I love it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And just so you know, Vince, Drew and I have discussed and have a somewhat rough outline of a potential module or adventure to be run as a tourney style thing. But
okay, so you guys are set up for that.
Yeah,
fantastic.
We're working on something, but it's something that he and I have talked about after one of our games on one of our Wednesday night games, which if you haven't been watching, you should be.
Right.
And it's just stuff that we've got to work out a little bit more and run by you and see what you think and then take it from there. But so it's been discussed, but obviously, certain plans weren't shared and I wasn't going to share them. So,
No, it makes sense. And I appreciate that. No, that'll be good. Because I have no problem running an old Gygaxian adventure for the tournaments, like Tomb of Horrors or something like that, or Lost Caverns of Solishkanth. But doing a homegrown one, absolutely, that'd be great. And if it takes all day, it takes all day. What the hell? All right, you're blocked. Fucking spam is ridiculous. Let me get to because I had this up on the screen here, Robert, and I envy you because I had all these and I don't have them anymore except for a handful. This is your Dragon, as part of your Dragon collection.
Yeah, those are some of the earlier issues. I've got a few that are earlier than this, but they're in rougher shape and either are missing covers or just not photo worthy. But those are some of my earlier issues in better shape, and then I've got several afterwards as well.
Nice.
And
okay, no, I also forgot that. Do you have this? This is kind of cool. This came out in. This is a Forgotten Realms product. This came out in 1993.
Oh, okay.
Let me get rid of that. I'll say.
Boomer. He's a boomer.
Look, you.
Oh, there you go. There.
Look, you dillweed. Yeah, it's Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, I remember that.
Guy.
I never did.
This is one of my favorite Elmore covers. Actually, it's called the Duel.
Oh my god.
Match. That's all you got as your Geek and Tell is a rubber Darth Vader dildo.
It's just a rubber, man.
Anybody remember playing this?
Oh, Twilight 2000. Yeah, I know. Well, I should say I know of it. I've never played it.
This one's still sealed.
Shit. That's what she said.
I've got my opened original one, and then I've got one that I got later that I never opened. So
nice. Now Nick is going. What the fuck is happening? Nick, did you ever play D&D or any kind of tabletop game?
Briefly.
Okay.
I'm more of a poker guy.
Gotcha. Okay.
But liquor in the front, poker in the.
That's right.
But to go along with what you're saying, I mean, this kind of stuff we've talked about this before. This kind of stuff still exists because I've got a poker game I've been in for years now, and we've never sat around and talked about here are the qualifications to get invited into the game, but it's more of a if the guy's got some money, if the guy's got some sense, if after a while you get to know somebody, and if they seem to be interested in poker, then you invite them to the game, and it's at different people's houses, and we sit around in the backyard, smoke cigars, and drink bourbon and shit before and after, and grill steaks sometimes, all that kind of shit. So I mean, I think that kind of thing goes on a lot more in a slightly less formal way than a lot of people realize. It's just no woman's ever going to try to get into our game because, I mean, why would they?
Yeah, they'd be
and
bored.
If somebody's wife or girlfriend, I've had girlfriends say, "Hey, can I come?" And I'm like, "No."
Nope.
That's it.
Exactly. As far as our official, and our name, and I've got the domain name and everything as far as it being it's in the process of being trademarked, but the American Tabletop Gamers Society. TJ and I came up with that name. I actually think more TJ came up with the name than I did, but that's the official name of the ATGS.
People are going to hate it because it's so exclusionary, and that's going to do all your advertising for you. I think you're onto a bigger idea than you think.
Yeah,
way bigger.
Yeah. I think
once you start telling people no, you're immediately right. Deadly serious. Once you tell people no, and as long as you got that, I don't give a fuck attitude. Fuck you. Send in the guns. They'll be like, and the fact you won't. I mean, it's brilliant. It's just brilliant.
It's kind of like with women. You tell them no, and that
it makes them want to be open your grill even more. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Everything will be officially released probably the first or second week in February. There's some kinks I have to work out as far as payment processing, and I want to make sure because I've done some desktop publishing as far as magazine layout and design. I did that for a pulp magazine that I published with some friends back in the late 90s called Suburban Noise, and I used Microsoft Publisher for that. I essentially had to learn on the fly because no one else knew how to do it. I'm like, all right, I have a computer, I'll do it. I published Microsoft Publisher 95, sat down with the book over the weekend and figured it out. No class, just like I'm going to do this.
Just
and
that
I did
New Jersey education, huh?
Exactly. You just you fucking figure it out. See. So
I got your HTML right here,
and your XML, HTML files, and blah blah. I used to code websites in HTML and CSS. Yeah, it was fun.
Well, I know. Go on. I'm sorry, Vince.
Yeah, don't interrupt me, you son of a bitch. But
Fuck you.
I need to use another. I'm going to be using another program to do the layout and design. And I was telling TJ we need to have our first issue of the new zine, even if it's a couple pages, introductory pages with a few pieces of content for the subscribers that sign up. So we get their mailing address and we send that out. So we have to have certain things in place before we go live.
May I make a recommendation before you start building this castle?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I would do nothing reliant upon any American domain name registrar.
No, I've already taken care of all that.
You've already taken care of all that. They're going to immediately come after you because you're simply
the magazine. Well, the new zine itself will be published, physically published by a small magazine gang press in the UK.
Another thing that we're going to be emphasizing is keeping things analog, meaning not online. So when we have our tabletop gaming stuff, there will be, we might have, there will be no like posting stuff online of what's going on.
Correct.
We'll be trying to set up some policies, but it's just like, no, we're not advertising what we're doing, because that's half the reason a lot of these places get shut down is because they're just flaunting. It's like with COVID restrictions, a lot of restaurants managed to sneak by just being quiet about it. Others were openly flaunting that they weren't following the rules, and so they got shut down. So that's just what people got to do, is just don't talk about it. Like, don't try to get attention from people who, it's almost like they want a confrontation and they're not ready, they're not prepared to deal with the consequences. So we're not here to be controversial. This is why we're doing this stuff, because it's the best way forward. But also, I feel like I'm just kind of a bit of a reactionary at this point, where I want to start doing more and more stuff where I don't have to feel like I need to constantly tell the whole world on social media what I'm doing. I think
no one follows you anyway, so you don't even have to do that.
Well, not for anything. We'll have like scene photos for the members in the new zine. They'll be printed, but there's not going to be an Instagram. There's not going to be a Twitter. There's not even going to be an official website for this. It'll be a page on a public page on the masculinegeek.life.
And for the same reason why Robert showing his collectibles is cool, the guys that are signed up for that and they get this magazine, it's going to make it that much cooler because it's exclusive. And you cannot repeat this process. You can't go, I'm going to hit repeat on YouTube and watch it again. No, you had to be there.
Exactly. You hit it, Swerve. Exactly. Yeah, you have to be part of it. The fact that you're a part of, just at the very least, the fact that you're a part of this group, this old school style club, if you will.
Analog assholes, kind of.
The analog assholes. Yeah,
the assholes.
That'll be our subheading. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can I do Geek and Tell?
You can do Geek and Tell, yeah. What do you got?
So I got this just came in the mail. I was shocked how quickly it came in. I got my Cowboy Bebop custom made mouse pad.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so usually you run it, especially you guys probably ran into trouble with like Redbubble or any kind of place where it's like, oh, that's copyright. Oh, that's this. Oh, you have a gun. You can't have that there. So I was like, well, it says they can customize it. And I always wanted that image. And you can't find who owns that image because it's a very popular image. But, oh, no, it looks like we can't do it. So, boom, they did it. And it was like for, I think, $13 with shipping. So now I got a really cool mouse pad of one of my favorite Cowboy Bebop pictures.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
That is cool. Can you tell everyone where you got that, or is that secret?
No, I just went on Amazon and searched customizable mouse pad, and there's like several places, and you just upload it, and you don't know, okay, is this like a scam site out of China or what? But it was only going to be like $13 with the shipping. I'm like, okay, what the hell? Let's give it a shot. And like 2 days later, it comes to my door. Like wow, like there's a capitalist out there that has his act together and knows to get it to you on time. So I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. And then I kind of wish I had more desktops because I got one other I got to get a mouse pad for. But I don't know. I might do.
Why don't you just make, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them and send them out to like the really cool people at Masculine Geek?
Well,
you could do
you
that.
Guys could do it yourself. Can I just give you the money and you do it yourself?
No, you
Jeez.
fucking
Why
lazy
are
fuck.
you not some chicken? You went out
And
and got me
where
that
are my
thing.
cookies?
Hey, number one, I am a busy internet blogging person thing, okay? I don't have time. And two, the GF is busy with her real job.
No wonder you
Which
don't
I
get
don't know
laid.
if anyone here is aware of. I think, does anyone here have a real job?
Yes, you dumbass. You make fun of me all the time for that.
That's government work. You don't count. Alex, what's your real
That's
job?
true.
You a teacher, a guidance counselor? What bullshit real job do you have?
Guidance counselor.
I actually just got promoted up to the corporate ladder. Here we
Oh,
go.
what are you, vice principal? Where do you rate the
Vice
kid?
principal.
Well, what do you do?
I mean,
Well,
without giving away too
Well, yeah.
much, I run a trucking operation.
Oh, okay. So you are a real person. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm a genuine human being.
You actually contribute to GDP.
I even read one of your books. I don't know if that made me
Well,
smarter.
you are
or
a good
stupider.
man,
I
Alex.
don't know.
You are now my favorite
make
person.
you fucking dumber.
Channel. Everyone else sucks. That's it. Yeah.
I've read your books, you son of a bitch. I've even reviewed them.
Yeah, then the problem is you meet me and you all treat me like you hurt my feelings on the internet.
Oh, you're not. Shut up, you fucking dick.
No, I mean this is our first interaction together, and I read Curse of the High IQ, and
Oh, Swerve.
it helped me bridge a
Swerve
gap.
meet
It really
Captain
did.
Crapitalism. Captain Crapitalism meet Swerve.
I'm glad it
It's a
helped.
great book. It's a great book.
Thank you. Don't worry, you'll get over your fanboy thing here pretty soon. It's
Yeah, it only lasts for about 10 minutes. I remember the first time I met Aaron, he's like, "Oh, we started following each other back we on my Dennis
years
Malone
ago,
account,
maybe.
like 6-7 years ago." And you're like, "Oh, we're having to meet up down in what Springs in
DC
Maryland,
something.
Spring whatever, in Maryland." And I'm like, I'll do that." I booked a hotel room for the night because I didn't feel like riding home, but we hung out with a bunch of the other dudes, met up in the pub.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this guy's a son of a bitch. Cool.
Yes.
Who's been posting a lot of videos on YouTube lately? You've been doing like 10 live streams a day for like the last 2 weeks or something. It seems
Me?
like Cappy. Yeah, you.
Yeah, Asshole Consulting is booming. Like, and I even increased my rates to like it's pretty much 50 minimum. Unless it's like an easy question or like the kid's really poor and doesn't have the money. I'm like, okay, you reached out and you stopped listening to your single mom whore of a mother. Okay, now you are willing to receive God. So now yeah, it's been a lot, and I may have to even increase it again because I frankly don't have the time, and more importantly, my voice is starting to go. So I've had to give up cigars.
We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. His voice is almost gone.
I know, right?
Anyway, yeah. Like
Hallelujah.
Booze, like it's kind of, but yeah, there's a lot of work to do, and I got more come tomorrow.
Jeez.
Cappy
Aaron's
seems very underwhelming.
Oh,
Yes.
the BattleTech. Yeah, I've got those for my BattleTech games. You put it, the little cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, I've got my whole box of those, and then
there you go. Yeah, my buddy John.
I
and used
remember
to-
that. Holy cow! There's a
my
flashback.
buddy John and I used to play that every like Tuesday or Wednesday from 1 till about
of
3 or
course.
4,
I've got
and just have campaigns.
that whole wall of new stuff right there. That's all the
Holy shit! You're gonna need like you're gonna need an addition on your house, brother. Jesus.
Your mom lets you have all that? What? Wow!
Well,
Come on, so cool.
That's one of the benefits of being a lady corporate exec's boy toy. So I'll just leave it at that.
There you go.
But yeah, learn to work that new economy. But no, I just hang on to stuff. I'd have even more stuff if I wasn't the oldest of 8 kids and been married a couple times. So there you
Rob,
go.
out of curiosity, I don't know if
Yeah.
you don't have to tell me where you live or anything like that, but would like if you could have a garage like pimped out the way you wanted, would that be where you'd have all your gamery stuff, or is it better to have it in the house?
It's better to have it in the house. Climate control,
Yeah, just for the climate control. I was about to say, yeah, climate control is important.
Yeah, and
and safety and security.
Yeah, and the 3-car garage gets used for storing cars and some around the house yard stuff and armor making stuff and things like that. So
speaking of dorks,
oh hey,
what's up, dork? Yeah, Amos pretty much took over for you, Aaron, when you like rage quit our D&D game.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
I thought he also took over Minnesota for me because now he's the only guy there left.
Correct.
Yep. Well, the only guy actually doing anything about anything here.
Oh, I've got that, Robert. That's awesome. Yeah, Iron Crown Enterprises. Yeah.
What was it? This that you were showing earlier? Your copy?
A long time ago, I showed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah,
But the MERP, it's called MERP, Middle Earth Role Playing. I bought that when it first came out.
Yeah.
Run over by a brain. What? Did you actually say that, Aaron?
Did who actually say what? Oh,
This-
yeah, she needs to get run over by a train twice. Yeah, that was in a presentation I did over at Donovan's Masculine Excellence Conference.
Oh, okay. What was up with that? That was weird. That came out of nowhere. And you being
No, it was
part of
my
that conference
seminar.
came out of nowhere.
It was the seminar. I was talking about financial excellence. I was talking about how what people are jealous over is truly petty. Because, like, for example, I think we all have a car here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except maybe TJ. And
he has a motorcycle. He has something beyond a pedal car.
We have cars and motorcycles, Aaron.
We take all of our cars, and our cars pretty much all do the exact same thing. Yet, what do? We envy the guy with a Ferrari, and it's like, well, what does the Ferrari do? It goes faster.
It's status.
And it looks, yeah, but what does it do? It just goes faster, and it looks nicer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And
correct.
And people
AOC looks faster and nicer.
No, what I'm saying is people who are envious like her and other her follower degenerate socialist pieces of shit are envious of like things that are like a fraction of your true standard of living. So it's like, I can't believe that guy's got a Beamer. It's like, so what? You got a Chevy.
It gives a shit.
It's the exact same thing, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you know, what's
point A to point B.
Yeah, Donald Trump gets to eat steak. It's like, well, go to the store and buy your steak and grill it. What is your problem? And that's what it was. Is AOC is like, can you imagine those rat bastards have this little bit much more than you? And it's like, fuck
well, that's
off.
how it starts. That's how.
Well, and doesn't the former president eat his steaks well done with ketchup? So, I mean, is he really eating a steak then when they're well done with ketchup? So,
I think the other thing is it's actually not so much petty envy, but it's also just envy of someone who's taking the initiative to improve their lot in life.
Absolutely.
It's crabs in a bucket. Yeah.
It's a reminder to other people that they too can be doing this, and they just choose not to. So
you look at all of AOC's constituents. Not to make this political, they're all losers. They're all wasting their lives. They truly might as well not be alive because they're not going to accomplish anything. And it's like, why? What's that's gotta suck to live that life where it's like, I need other people's money to live. Wow, like, you know, you live paycheck, not paycheck. You're a beggar. You are a beggar. You get this one shot at life, and all you can do is bitch and whine and demand other people's money. It's like you could get all the money in the world, your life is gonna suck.
So I'm gonna throw something out. When AOC was getting criticized because she was seen with her boyfriend in Florida, and she was saying how just everybody wants to sleep with me. This was pure projection. Look at her boyfriend. She wants a high tier white man with blue eyes, and that's what the best she can do. And she's bitter about it.
Isn't her boyfriend a redhead with blue eyes?
Yes, she's dating a ginger who's not good looking and
look like a fucking dork.
Yeah, she wants that dominant white man whose babies she wants, and she can't have them because she's not
all pissy about it. Yeah.
So she's projecting her sexual frustration.
You know what's going to happen in 4 years?
Well, if she needs to line up somewhere, she can call me. Just saying.
You know where she's going to be in 40 years?
Dead.
No.
Haha, face the wall.
4 years. In 4 years, I'm sorry. Do you know where she'll be in 8 years? My mistake.
I thought you said 40. Never mind.
I'm sorry. In 8 years, she's going to be 40 years old.
All right.
And she'll be looking at an IVF clinic. That's what she'll be doing. She could win. She's in Congress, right? She won. That bitch is going to be miserable. She's going to be a spinster.
She's probably on some level miserable now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, there's nothing a fat person hates worse than one of their fat friends who decided to change their life and lose the weight and get healthy. I mean,
yeah.
You know, so
that's pretty much how it is. But I think that's once you realize a lot of people's, I mean, this was a huge breakthrough for me when I just realized, when people are giving you negative feedback to you trying to improve your life, it's because they actually genuinely do not want you to improve your life. And also what a lot of people say to you is actually just them projecting how they feel onto you.
Mhm.
And so I've just learned to not care. When I say not care what other people think, mean I don't see their points as legitimate, and I don't take them seriously enough to really give them any thought. And also, there's no consequences for not caring. They just, what are they going to do?
Hey, speaking of improving, James, when are you submitting your before picture here for our competition?
Oh,
Sorry, we got a
so
competition
gay.
going.
Huh?
Let's send it tonight.
Okay.
No dick pics.
No dick pics.
Well, actually,
No,
Aaron
you
may
didn't.
like
Listen,
that.
you don't set the terms and conditions here. This is my contest. If I want
Where's
below
it-
the belt, it
There you go. I shut you up. Actually, I kind of do set the terms and conditions, at least for this broadcast. You know, I love you, Tomboy Wrangler.
Is that his
That-
Cowboy Texas name?
That sounds
Yeah,
gay.
exactly.
It just sounds.
It does sound kind of gay,
He's
doesn't
a tomboy wrangler.
Wrangler, yeah, bitch. Oh my God.
Is that a man bun you got going on, James?
a little bit. A little bit.
Does Tomboy Wrangler grab that when she's fucking you?
Oh,
I enjoy having long hair and not cutting it.
Answer the question.
Yeah, right. No, I know when I had my hair down to my shoulders, but I did not put it up in a gay man bun. I have to say that.
Yeah.
I had
Well,
no
tomboy's a
like-
chick who likes to act like a dude, right?
Are we
Jesus
explaining the definition of tomboy?
Well,
we
we
wanna
have
know how
our
you wrangled
definition
them
and we
and
have your
why.
definition.
I'm just trying to get you to say, "Shut the fuck up."
Say it.
Shut the fuck up.
There it
There
is.
we
It's
go.
coming. It was coming. I was.
The money
That's
shot.
what she said.
Hey,
It was coming.
I think James' little man bun stuff.
Why are you, as a man, worrying
I could
about my
tackle
hair?
it with my little finger. It's a feet.
See, Cappy should have been the middle
That.
square because he's our own Paul Lynn.
There
I
you go.
mean-
Well, we had
Oh,
some
Lynn,
complaints.
Yikes.
We had some
Wow.
complaints that Aaron was in the middle square. Let's put him in the middle square.
Oh,
How's
really?
how's
Yeah.
his look? Yeah,
Yeah,
people,
Yeah,
look at
'cause
that. Look,
he is
You're
our
surrounded-
Paul Lynn.
look at that. You must love it, Aaron. You're surrounded by men.
Uh-huh.
It's a, dr-
What's the song?
a
It's
circle
raining
of
men.
guys, and you're the pivot man.
That's right.
You're drinking.
You guys are all-
Take it, bitch. Take it.
You know what I like about you pedophiles is pedophiles are really funny. They're really funny guys.
Jesus.
The fuck?
You know,
You're of age. Shut the fuck up. You're of
in
age.
the head, but man, you can make good jokes. That's good.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, who was this middle guy on Family Squares or whatever it was called? Hollywood
Family
Squares.
Square.
Hollywood Square.
Lynn.
Paul Lynn.
Hollywood Squares.
Paul Lynn. Who's that? Like, what generation
I don't know.
of Hollywood Squares were we watching?
70s,
70s?
mostly the 70s.
The late
Yeah.
70s, probably.
Yeah. Because I remember it like when who's the ugliest woman alive? Whoopi Goldberg. When she was the
That's
center.
probably true.
I was gonna say Rosie O'Donnell.
No, Whoopi Goldberg's got her. That's just an
Lena
ugly face.
Dunham. I mean, they're all jiving for first.
Robert and I watched Hollywood Squares when it was Paul Lynde and Phyllis Diller,
Oh, I remember
And,
Phyllis Diller, that fucking skinny bitch.
Charles
Jesus,
Nelson
she's
Riley.
Riley.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yep, some old shit.
Did they have man buns back then too, or was that just a Japanese samurai
I
thing
hope so.
back in the
Yeah.
70s?
They probably did, yeah. James is probably the only Caucasian male that could get away with a man bun.
No,
No, he's not.
Definitely not.
Nah, I
Sure.
tried, James. I tried. I'm sorry.
You cannot have
don't
man and man bun in the same.
The only
None of
way
you,
you could.
none of you are fucking me, so my concern over your
Thank God
opinion
for
over
that.
my hairstyle
Jesus.
is like way down here.
Well,
You
just
know,
hang
and
on,
we are
hang on.
every bit as thankful for that as you are, James.
Yeah, seriously. Unless you shouldn't be doing the man bun unless you're training to be a samurai. Are you training to be a samurai?
I'm training to be somebody who enjoys my own hairstyle.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the
Where's
the key
that?
to
Where's
the
that mute?
situation.
Where's that mute button? Where's that mute button?
Shut the fuck up. There
Shut
it
the
is.
fuck up. That's my new ringtone for you when you call.
What about Rhinestone Cowboy?
Glenn Campbell. What about it?
Well, no, like when James calls up, he's a rhinestone cowboy. Bum, bum, bum.
It's a tomboy wrangler.
Wrangler, bum,
Yeah.
bum.
Take it.
Yeah.
Release.
That's right.
What's the rest of the lyrics? Was that like a?
It's too gay to pronounce.
They were all gay.
Was it like? Was it a song about being gay? Was it?
I have no idea.
What,
Hang on, I'll
Rhinestone
look it
Cowboy?
up. Yeah.
I don't remember.
No, it's something about riding on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo.
I've been walking these streets alone.
Yeah, it's pretty gay.
Singing
That's
the same
not
old
gay,
song.
Yeah.
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 You know every crack in these dirty sidewalks of Broadway.
That's right.
Wow,
All right,
you
so
know
Hustle's the
these.
name of
You
the
know these.
game.
Wow, you seem to really like
knows
this.
Well, Glenn Campbell is one of the few singers that's in my vocal range.
Oh,
okay.
So
that makes sense.
Not that I'm going to start singing on this broadcast,
don't
but yeah,
don't serenade us.
Like a rhinestone cowboy riding out on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo.
Sing it,
like
sing
a
it, Aaron.
like a rhinestone cowboy. Bum bum bum.
Somebody Bull Rush, if you're watching, make sure you pull this out as a soundbite.
Like a rhinestone cowboy. Bum bum bum. Getting Vince's vehicle and his motorcycle and sniffing the butt seat. Bum, bum,
Why
bum.
would you do that?
I don't know. That's the lyrics. Vince, can you sell your motorcycles for more now to those people who smell panties and they can smell your motorcycle seat?
No, I sold the Boulevard S40 to James.
Yeah.
James has that. I bought a 2020 Kawasaki Vulcan.
Was it delivered or did you pick it up?
I went and picked it up and rode it home.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I've had that for almost a year now.
But James wants to buy a Triumph, right? Was that the one you were wanting
Triumph
to get?
is the next bike I'm going to go for.
Yeah.
What model?
Triumph, what is it, the T100?
Is it like a cafe racer type or what we looking
The
at?
Bonneville one, right?
Or is it a cruiser?
T100.
It's a cruiser. It's a cruiser. That's cool.
To Bull Rush in the chat, I have every confidence that you'll somehow figure out a way to make that soundbite gay.
He probably
if anyone can make something
I'm pressing
gay,
record.
would be Bull Rush, right?
Who's the guy that came out of left field and put my mug on some Indian woman singer's face? Did you guys see that?
That was hysterical.
That was brilliant. That was
right.
brilliant.
That was so good. Although this one that I did for you, Aaron, is probably is probably up there. Hang on, let me get it for you guys.
This is in one of TJ's specials.
No, it's
what?
No.
Well, TJ, you're pretty good with
events.
Yeah.
This is one that I created for you, and you were quite.
Oh, that one was.
You know what we got to do? We got to go back through some of Aaron's earliest videos. There's got to be a few gems in there.
I've thought about, and I don't know if you guys would have the AV stuff. Maybe you should do it with Masculine Geeks, but anyone that has like a repertoire of work, like to just go through and get the best of. And the quickest way I could figure to do it was like some people, they find something funny is they'll timestamp it in the comments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there is some of your earlier work, and that's one of your earlier ones. It's like that goes back like 3 or 4 years. I think 2019. There's some of your earlier work even before that just you're making these like dick sucking motions like in almost every one of your videos because you're mocking somebody.
Right.
Like I have to hire someone on Fiverr, give them the link and the timestamp, and just say link this together and set it to some kind of trance house music.
Great.
You don't have to go to Fiverr for that. Bull Rush will do that shit for free.
I'll do that, right?
Oh.
It's too funny.
Where did we lose Nick?
Nick had to
he had to go.
Yeah, he had to run. He dropped in as a courtesy to say hi to everybody and basically make fun of you.
Cool.
Yeah, as usual. You know, it's just part
I
of the
always
course.
appreciate his microphone quality audio. That's
exactly. No, Amos, you pretty much got into D&D because you were watching the Masculine Geek D&D games, correct?
Yeah. So, I had heard it mentioned and was curious. Now, there was a group of people here in Minnesota that I was hanging out with. We actually played poker. I'd go to their place and we'd play like a home game they had. And there's these two brothers. One of them did poker and the other one did like D&D, chess, just gaming in general. And So then, because of you guys talking about it, I went and played with them, and then some things got a little too woke for me, and we had a discussion, and I was the bad guy apparently. I actually was like, all right, I mean, we can disagree on this, but I still like to play because I'm thinking in like just playing. Like, you want to play it a certain way, I'll, for the sake of continuing to play, I'll kind of go with it a little bit. But no, he was just like, no, and like it was what was it when drow and orcs were racist or something because they had to be evil or whatever, and I'm just like, maybe we could disagree on that, and you could run your, like, obviously it's like you posted, a DM can rule however the fuck he wants. He could say orcs are the smartest people in the game or whatever, but I mean,
straight, you can make up whatever rules you want.
Yeah. So it's like you could, but it's just he decided to just not associate with me, and I was essentially not allowed in that house for like over a year.
Holy shit!
Go hang out with them. Yeah.
Were these friends of yours?
It was like passing acquaintances. It was strictly
no
just
laws.
So then I went on and I DM'd an entire campaign on my own. I did it online and stuff because it was during 2020, and then so
cool. All right.
Well, I'm glad you finally found the cool kids here.
You did, You got introduced the proper way to Dungeons and Dragons. Now, Alex Swerve, I've been meaning to ask you your nickname. Where'd that come from?
My old online handle from like old gaming and stuff that I used to do was Suburban Swervin. I just thought it sounded funny. I always pictured like Fat Albert walking down the alley. Hey. Like I just pictured that Swervin. And I just thought it was funny, and then it got shortened to Swerve by people just calling me that. So yeah, that's really no magic from that, really. Just a gay story about some gay name that I came up with.
Don't self-deprecate yourself, especially with the word gay. Don't do that.
It's really gay.
That's pretty gay. All right. So I know we need to hop. We should probably hop on and play some Diablo 3 live sometime.
At some point, we need
it out.
To do
that'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be fun.
I've been hitting the action RPG scene really, really hard lately, and there's a new game out called Last Epoch, which is a ton of fun. If you're into ARPGs, definitely check it out.
Okay.
What is ARPGs?
Action RPG. So it's basically just you look from an overview, and there's usually a shit ton of bad guys, and you're the hero, and you just freaking decimate everything.
It's basically hack and slash.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate is slower though, right? Baldur's Gate is slower. Baldur's Gate is much more like D&D.
Yeah, I never got to play this older edition of it until recently, so that's been kind of interesting. And then this I've been playing a little bit of.
Samurai Warriors.
Now they've got Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 was supposed to be revolutionary. I haven't played it. I don't know.
So but these are not turn-based RPGs. They're live action kind of. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone sent me this. They wanted me to review it, but
okay, cool. Now, have you played any tabletop games, Alex?
No, actually, the crazy part is the only real D&D experience that I have is playing computer games like Neverwinter Nights. That's the only true.
You're gonna have to
I want to. I do.
You have to join the ATGS then, yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like it's going to be a good time. Just keep that first meeting up north here, bud.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I think there's a special place I think for the first one, which once I get it set, once TJ and I get it set, it's going to make sense. So.
I never got into it. I wanted to. It seemed like something that I would get interested in, but I was just much more of an introverted person growing up, and still kind of to this day. Like I don't really have the patience for everybody else to organize perfectly for us to hang out on like a Tuesday evening or something. I just don't. I'm usually too busy, got too much other shit going on. So, but if it's something like this, like something seriously organized, then I'm down.
Oh, this will be seriously organized. Yeah, this is going to be no joke.
Alex, because of your relative youth, I mean, do you have like a group of friends that you can hang out with in person?
I really just kind of have one best friend, but I get this all the time. Everybody always seems to think I'm much younger than I am. It's that baby face. I'm 37. I'm just.
Oh Christ, you're old as fuck. Never mind.
Yeah. Old as dirt.
Old
TJ's the young buck here, I think.
No, James is. He's 23, 24.
And Amos.
Yeah.
What about Amos?
Amos
29.
is 29.
Amos is actually 106. He's aged.
Yeah, but he's Asian, so you can't ever tell.
Damn. That's true, though.
I mean, yeah, they just don't age. I mean, they do, but they don't. So,
well, they age chronologically, but not in visage.
Yeah, they use it.
I don't know. I saw a real old, haggard-looking Asian gal at the restaurant today.
That's called menopause.
Well, it does. It was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, like
So
you
you're
almost
saying
look
they
like
only
you should be
look
in a
like
movie.
that for a
See,
little bit?
I was gonna say the wall really only is like it only applies to white women. For Asian women, it's menopause is the wall.
Gotcha. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. To answer the question, yeah, I saw it was on Steam. The only thing I've been playing on Steam is the Dark Eye Book of Heroes.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I've been playing Icewind Dale on Steam. The old Icewind Dale. So how is that one, Robert? Is that good?
It is like Diablo.
Okay.
It is a real easy game. I'm hoping it's more successful because I was up for a voice in a sequel. So if it's successful enough, I might get work out of it.
Wait,
so.
when did Dark
Nice.
Alliance come out? How old is that one?
That came out in the late
December.
80s, early 90s.
Oh, it's a different one.
As far as the
Baldur's
original
Gate,
one,
Dark
Baldur's
Alliance?
Gate. Yeah, or maybe. Oh, actually, Dark Alliance maybe came out in mid 90s then.
Yeah,
Mid to
because
late
that one
90s.
I actually played that one. That was it was on like GameCube.
Yeah,
or
that might be
something.
like 98 or 99 actually. Because that's around when because that used
I
that
think you're right on. Yeah.
they used it. Yeah, that used the same engine as Icewind Dale and something else.
Yeah.
And then there was Neverwinter Nights, which came out around the same time, which is kind of cool. Hang on.
I'd played the Dark Alliance and Dark Alliance 2
No, I've got Neverwinter and
that
Icewind
came
Dale.
out on PlayStation 2. But I do have the one that's on Steam, but I played through it once with my youngest son.
3 different classes, right, Robert?
Yeah. You've got
Yeah, I
you're
played
either a
that one, yeah.
dwarf, a human archer, or I think a female
So
magey
Yeah,
kind of character. I
something,
don't know.
yeah.
I never played the female character, so I don't remember.
Enjoying this 1900s.
I'm looking at one here. There's a Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance that they made
Mhm.
for PC, and then they
That's
have
a PC one I played. Yeah.
and then there's a D&D Dark Alliance that's supposed to come out. When was this one? Oh no, it came out last year. But
Yeah.
it's
This one.
Hold on.
That's much more likely. Yeah.
This is the one that.
That's a newer one. Yeah. It just came out,
This is
yeah.
the one that recently came out. But the older one, the Elven Sorceress, Dwarven Warrior, and the Human Archer. So I played the Human Archer, and my youngest played the Dwarven Warrior, which jumping across those stones that collapse under you from the trap in the sneaking into the Thieves Guild under Baldur's Gate.
You'll have to toss me.
With a 6-year-old,
Right.
that was a trip, but we eventually we did make it. But I still have the version of that was released on PlayStation 2, because they released like that, the sequel to it, and then using like the same engine and gameplay kind of design, the an EverQuest game for PS2 that wasn't the one that you played all the time and had to pay for, the Evercrack version, but it was more like
Evercrack.
Yeah.
EverQuest has been out forever.
Does everyone here play video games, or does someone not play video games?
I occasionally, as I was telling Alex and Swerve, I occasionally go back to Diablo 3, and I play Icewind Dale and go back and I play Neverwinter Nights.
From the sounds of it, man, I'm really good. If we do play together, I'm gonna be hard on you, and I think I'm gonna open you up to like a whole new version.
That's pretty gay
of the
too.
game.
Yeah.
I'm going to be hard on
Yeah,
you. I'm
get
going to open
ready.
you up to something.
I'm going to open
ready.
you up to a whole new world.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Get ready.
Look, we got a celebrity here. Big time 1,000 subscribers.
1,172.
Wow.
But who's counting? Congratulations on that, by the way, Doc.
Every video I
appreciate it,
watch by Doc is freaking good. It's so good.
So guys, tomorrow night I have on a truck driver, but the guy lost his vision. He had encephalitis, and his optic nerves were damaged, so he had to leave trucking. But he does Guns and Barbecue, Jonathan Berger. And man, so we're going to talk about how truckers.
The guy does barbecue, and his last name is Berger.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's kind of
right?
cool. Yeah,
he's a cool guy. And so we're going to do a show on how truckers have been getting screwed over with everything, right? But especially like now, you can't drive over that.
All right, Doc. So you came on our show to plug your own.
To plug. I came to tell you guys something really funny that happened.
No, I'm
really
messing with you.
Really cool.
Yeah,
So
that is cool.
It's about a show.
I'm out today, so it's like 10 degrees here. So
Jesus.
And I have a couple lakes nearby. So when I take a walk, I actually walk around one of these lakes, and I'm watching. And so in the middle of this lake, there's these ice shanties, right? So all these dudes out there and stuff. But around the outside of the lake, suddenly there's some dude in like a Toyota Corolla who's just like as fast as he can go, like making this racetrack around the lake. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, wow, like that's pretty amazing, because like you got to break through like the drifts and stuff like that. And if you lose it, you're going to fly up on shore. But the guy knew what he was doing. Like he's accelerating at the right time. Pretty soon, like other people are coming out there and watching and stuff like that. I'm like, this is pretty awesome. And like after 10 laps, he just like uses the off ramp and he's gone. And I'm like, well, so I got home and I'm telling my wife about this, and she said, so like you called the police, didn't you? I'm like, I should have. They would have liked it too. Like they would have been impressed. You're right. Police, fire, EMS. Like next time I got to be on the ball. I got to bring everybody down.
The trio, yeah.
I'm like, no, of course not. I'm not ratting this dude. And he knew what he was doing. It was pretty cool. I was like, this is like, everybody just paused and watched this guy like do these. Oh man. So anyway, that's Wisconsin.
That's cool. So,
Doc, real quick, what's 60 minus 10?
Okay, but
I don't know, what is it?
How old you are?
No.
50 is how old I am.
50.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 50 degrees warmer here than it is in Wisconsin. That's nice. You live up north and haven't moved yet. That's nice.
What's the degrees? What's the temperature where you're at, Aaron?
It was 60 earlier today, Vegas. It's going down because
oh, you're in your Vegas stronghold. Okay.
Southern Command, yes.
Southern Command. It is 8 degrees here.
Oh, that's right. Minnesota's even worse.
It was 17 here yesterday, the day before.
Yeah, I heard about some people in New England complaining about some cold temps you guys are getting.
They do that.
It was.
They do that.
It was.
You ever notice? Hey, I gotta ask Amos this and anyone else who was in from New England. Since all the news media is in New York and all that, anytime they get 4 inches of snow, it's the worst snowstorm ever, and the rest of the fucking country has to hear it.
It's
limp dick assholes.
It's clickbait.
Oh my God! And over in CBS Radio Tower, we got a little bit of rain.
We got 5 inches of snow.
Like, shut up.
Yeah, no, and everyone runs out. Everyone runs out for butter, bread, and milk.
Was there that one time like parts of New England got like 5-6 feet of snow, maybe even more than that? There was some big dump of snow. I remember it was like
that wasn't that long ago. Actually,
2011.
Yeah,
it's 2011.
Yeah. Some parts I heard like 10 feet of snow.
Like Buffalo.
What?
Had like
I
10,
lost power for 7 days. Like I've never seen that before.
Holy shit!
And it wasn't just me. It was like the whole.
What did you? Well, tell us. What did you do? I mean, as far as surviving.
Luckily where I was working at the time, they had power at the office, and I would just go there, and I would they put me up in a hotel to shower near the office, even though I lived like 10 minutes.
So you
away.
just like abandoned your family.
Well, no, this was before I had the wife and kids. This was back when I was just doing whatever the fuck I wanted.
Oh, so you're recently married?
Somewhat recently, yeah.
You dumb son of a bitch. No, I mean that's great. That sounds
that's great. Yeah,
that's great. Oh yeah.
I'm not going to defend it.
I got a book for you. You should read my book.
I'm not going to defend it, and I'm not going to argue for it. It is, okay. All right, guys. This is where I've landed in my life.
May the farce be with you. Yes,
if
absolutely.
nothing else, in my experience, divorces get easier the more you have.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's the
Good to
first
know.
one that's really
And
rough.
Robert would know. He's had like 5 of them.
Doc, don't you have like a 25th anniversary or something? You and your wife have been together for a long time, right?
What, you're telling me?
Yeah,
20
there's only
the only
one
Doc-
Doc
you're the
here.
only
The rest
Doc
of the guys
here.
are radio.
I don't.
We're all dumbasses.
He's not wrong.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was 20 years this past June. So yeah, we'll be coming up on the 21st year. And it's my 20th year living here. And
Oh shit.
and
That's
so
cool.
and also I am running for a city alderperson. So
Nice.
April 5th, it's me against somebody on the edge of my district here. So
How many
put your
YouTube
money where your
subscribers
mouth
does that person have?
I only know their name. Like, I mean, it's so weird because like the newspaper hasn't even, like asked a position on anything and stuff like that. And it was funny that when I went around and got nominations, I did it on New Year's Eve.
Mhm.
So like you're knocking at people's homes and they're answering with a beer in their hand or a mixed drink or something like this. I'm like, hey, like I'm your neighbor from 2 houses over and I'm running. And they're like, oh yeah, whatever you need to sign. Like one lady is like, she's stepping outside like on melted snow with like slippers, stuff like that. No, you could, like, we're all good here. Dogs run out of a house and stuff like that, but it was good. But anyway, yeah, so it's April 5th. And then the mayor called me up and he's like, yeah, people usually don't spend more than like, I don't know, $500 to $800. I'm like, I'm spending nothing. I'm like, there's no sign. There's no nothing. Like if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. I'm like, there's no budget into this campaign, but yeah, we've got some big things coming up. There's a subdivision that'll be built close to me. A couple other big kind of public works projects here in the next couple of years. So it's going to affect my taxes. And
Why am I picturing this is like an episode from the Andy Griffith Show and you're running against Barney Fife and the big issue is whether we have 3 pumps at the gas station or 2.
I'm just wondering, are we allowed to mail in votes for you or not?
I hope not. The thing is, so the city commissioner contacted me and said they do a drawing for how your name appears on the ballot, like the order, like, so like, do you want to show up for this? And I'm like, no, not really. Like, I don't, that's, I'm good. Like, whatever it is, like, I don't have any influence over what it is. And I don't know what that goes back to, but I'm like, no. I said, if I get voted on, there's work to do. I'll work with everybody else. But it was pretty cool.
But so you're not moving to South Dakota anytime soon.
It's a 3-year term, and but
right.
yeah,
I'll be by myself for 3 years with DT, who just stays at home anyway. It'll be a great old time there. Thanks. Did you want the knife stabbed in my back there, Doc, or do you just want to leave it there?
It doesn't have any thing where you can't have
who's DT
dual residence,
We'll pick it
right?
up
So yeah, but
DT was a podcaster until he had a meltdown, and now he's
okay.
He's the guy that wanted to charge me to drive me to the airport.
Oh,
and
that's right.
I got him the 1,000 subscribers, so he had to drive me to the airport on the bet.
Oh,
Now he doesn't podcast anymore.
gotcha. So you ruined him basically.
No, he decided he wanted to stop podcasting after a while.
Okay.
He was podcasting for 7-8 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where's is he down in your area?
Yeah, he's over in Rapid City area. Yep. He's over on the west
Okay.
side. West side. But yeah.
Rah.
But yeah, it was gonna be me, him, and Doc. And then Doc is gonna stay in Wisconsin. Yay.
Gotcha. DT has happy wife, happy life. Well, maybe. Right. Oh God.
Are you still teaching, Doc, or are you finally retired from the teaching?
I have a class that starts tomorrow. So
Oh, you doing it live or are you online?
in fall I teach in person. In spring I teach online.
Okay, that's a good gig actually.
Yeah, I've done it. I think this is my 18th year with
What's
that
the name of the
university.
class?
Pupil services and non-discrimination. It's basically like non-discrimination laws for school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've instructed this like 17, 18 years. It's a big class though. So I actually have the roster over here and everything's ready to go. So
Yeah, one of the things though, right? You teach, then students have to buy your book. So it's sign my book to class. So.
Yeah, it's like a in-house marketing tool for you.
Yeah, it is.
That's cool.
But yeah, so that'll work out well. And then so when I was building this class, the university did an update of its online system. So like I went into the class and it basically took everything I built and then it re-uploaded it over itself. So I went in and everything was double. And I'm like, what is going on? And oh yeah, there was an update. Like, yikes. Like this took like a day then to like weed everything out. And then I'm just letting people know. I'm like, if you see something, just let me know, because this isn't like, it shouldn't even be able to do that, right? Like there should be some fail safe of saying, but yeah, so that's coming up, and book comes out April 11th.
Cool.
You're still doing consulting?
No, I cut out all of the consulting. So yeah, last year this time, I mean, I was consulting 22 to 25 hours a week.
And you retired 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, right.
Well, I mean, it was right because everybody was closed down. They're scrambling, and you know, you could charge, you know, like I mean, you could just adjust your fees because the demand was so great, and you know, and I was enjoying it, but then also too, I was like, this has to end. Like I'm not into putting this much time into this stuff. But so my publisher, we at the very end we had this kind of like a standoff with the layout in the book, and I wrote about in 1941 there was this thing called Road to Victory, which was in the Manhattan Museum of Art, the big murals of the images of going to war, and they would space these intentionally like 8 to 10 feet apart so people would pause and be able to think. And then so when I had this one section in my book, I'm like, there needs to be a little bit of white space between these 4 images, and they were like, yeah, but then that, you know, doesn't look right and whatever. And like, no, like it works because like you've read to this point. And so they eventually went with it, which then I think looks awesome, because then I got the final proof and I'm like, see, like I know what I'm doing on this stuff. But yeah, so actually I am I am writing the kind of note to everybody I'm sending the book to. Like the last couple nights I've been taking some time and got the mailers here. So
oh, look at that.
Yeah, so
organized. I like it.
Doing it right. Been working with my narrator.
Doc, because you've written several books, TJ and Vincent were thinking about writing some books. Think you could give them some pointers?
That's funny.
Oh my god.
You funny guy.
I mean, Aaron, you could write another book, The Curse of the Low Height Stature.
Low height? I could.
What it's like being a midget?
Motorboating by Aaron Clary. The story of short guys and tall gals. There
you go. That's not too far off the mark.
I thought it would be called My Life in the Lollipop Guild.
The 4-hour nap.
I got to split.
Right.
Yes,
all right, Aaron.
4-hour nap and fap.
Aaron, good to see you.
Hello to everybody. Nice to see you again. Nice to meet you there, Alex. Doc, good to see you. Even though James.
Same here.
Doc, I just did you want me to like just buy the piece in Caputa, the piece of land for you, and hold it on you? Or?
Yeah. Okay. Just do it. We'll
it
figure out some kind of land trust.
They had a parade already for you. Like good, they're good. He's going to increase our population by 25%, and you know, and now you're not going to move in, and so the people of Caputa are very sad. But I'll let them know.
It's delayed. It just builds right now.
You're like a girl who's already late to a date and saying you're showing up, right? Okay, I know.
For nuclear missile silos, so we don't know. So yeah. So.
I'll see you guys.
All right. Later there, Dork.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Since this is a D&D / table talk / geek talk, I don't know if we ever asked this question of Doc. Doc, have you ever played D&D?
Yes, in high school and early college, like probably my first 2 years of college, and then after that, didn't. Wasn't because I didn't like it, you know, just group kind of fell apart, right? People went their different ways and stuff.
Exactly,
like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as you know, as you've said, you know, these were, well, I mean, they were all day events at somebody's house, right? So everyone was assigned to bring, food and
and but I do miss it. And watching, I enjoy watching your shows, your DLD live, and I'm just like I'm not up to that speed anymore, but I enjoy it. And as you're talking about, doing the group, I think it's awesome to not have it like narrate it in this whole side, of what's happening, right? Because it just takes away from it. So how you do it is very pure.
Yep.
But yeah, I really, I greatly enjoyed. I mean, right now in my mind, I'm picturing like one of the greatest like games that probably went till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Right.
And the house it was at, and Jim Fermanic was the dungeon master, and I mean, it's if I was any good,
that's a good memory. That's a great memory that you carry with you. Yeah.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Yep.
What character did you play?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm 50, and that was like 30 years ago. So I don't know.
I'm 53, and I've got every character sheet I've ever played since 77, 78. So,
right. I still have. Well, I was mainly a dungeon master, obviously, but I've played in a few games. Usually, when I went to conventions, obviously I was playing. I had no intentions of running a game in a convention. That's bullshit. But I played a druid, a fighter, and a magic user. So,
yeah, we had rotating DMs. There were certain guys that mostly DM'd, and some guys that only ever played. But we had a couple different DMs in the group. That way, everybody got a chance to run their character, and everybody got a chance to kind of do different things, at least within certain groups. So
that's cool.
But it was one of the nice things about having a subgroups within several micro groups within one macro group. So worked out pretty well.
Cool. And TJ, how are you enjoying your D&D experience? I know I've asked you this before, but
real quick before TJ answers that, I got to jump off. It's been great. I'll talk to you guys all later.
Later, Alex.
Oh, man.
Alex.
Yeah.
In short, for me, it's cool to do stuff online, but I do tabletop gaming with some buddies. We use an online simulator, but we try and meet up in person. I just prefer the in-person stuff. This is why I like the idea of this gaming society, because we're actually meeting people. There's just something about doing stuff online that just isn't the same. It's like the same dynamic. Like, you can smoke cigars and chat with a guy on a screen all day long, but it's not the same as going to a cigar lounge and chatting with someone. So I enjoy D&D. It's also, for me, Vince, when we first played in Gettysburg, had kind of visual cues. Like there was a map, there's all stuff. So for me, I need visual cues on a lot of stuff. I had this motorcycle class where they were doing like the figure eight. I could not. I told them, I said, you're going to have to write down what you're actually doing, because I can only follow what you're doing at that exact moment. I can't put it all together. So a lot of times when people are talking about stuff in D&D, I get lost in all the details, and so I'm like, it's almost like I'm blind.
Yeah. Well, that's why Rollo's his Photoshop map is good, and Drew's getting into doing that too. So. Yeah, I think when we do the live conventions, I have a shit ton of 3D dungeon tiles from Dwarven Forge.
Yeah,
like one shelf is just nothing over here, but nothing but dungeon tiles. Some of the fireplaces and the lanterns light up, all kinds of cool shit. So I think maybe at the end, when you're the denouement, as it were, the end boss, might be cool to have that set up with a fog of war, like maybe a black or red tablecloth draped over it. So you move sections of the tablecloth away as you game towards the end boss on the 3D dungeon tiles. That'll make for an interesting setting. So that'll be perfect for you, TJ. Yeah.
All right. Well, I gotta head out as well. So, I mean, if you guys want to keep chatting, but I'm gonna be heading out.
Well, we're rolling out in 5 minutes. If you want to hang for 5 minutes.
Sure.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I can do that.
Yeah, it's like 1:55. We're gonna do the right on the 2-hour mark, so make it easy. Midori K. Yes, they are expensive. Worthwhile though. I've stopped buying them, although some of the new builds are pretty cool. But I have a complete sewer set, which is really neat, and I have one of their two of their complete dungeon sets. Dwarven Forge isn't very minimalist. Yeah. Maybe not. I mean, I'm not sure what's that in context to. Maybe Aaron Clary.
Mhm.
Yes, Aaron Clary would not buy Dwarven Forge tiles.
It's not cost effective.
Exactly. It is true. Unless you're
There's no
using them
itinerary on it.
There's no itinerary. What's the itinerary? Unless you're using them. I don't buy them anymore because I don't use them as much.
Yeah.
But the ones that I have are worth it. So if we have one of the conventions that's not which is within driving distance of me, I will pack them all up and bring them with me. Yeah. Absolutely, and we'll have a game. We'll game using them. It's really cool. But as far as is it being minimalist, and as far as me being a minimalist, I don't. In some things I am. With books and D&D stuff, probably not.
Well, not everyone can embrace the Spartan aesthetic the way I do.
You're definitely a minimalist there, Robert. You're like the epitome of minimalism with the
living embodiment.
Right? Oh shit, that's funny. Will our D&D group? No, Geeky. If you want to join, you will be playing AD&D. We're doing old school rules. It's going to be straight up AD&D. There you go.
Well, for Drew's campaign. Roloth was kind of fifth.
No. We're exactly.
Oh, yeah.
We're referencing the convention and the actual American Tabletop Gaming Society. We will be running conventions using AD&D rules. Yeah, but Amos is right. I requested Drew run a first edition game for the game he's running now. So we're playing first edition with Drew, and then a bit of a first edition, 5th edition hybrid with Rollo, which that will be the next game coming up. Although not this Wednesday. This Wednesday we have a guest. We have Noble Brown as a guest. He's a writer, barbarian, overall badass, and a D&D geek. In fact, he will be joining as a player for Rollo's game. So I want to get him on the an email thread soon and introduce everybody and get his character made. So. But yeah, anyone who there's going to be a lot of information coming out. TJ and I are going to be releasing a lot of information regarding the American Tabletop Gamer Society over the next couple weeks, and details will be on a simple one-page web page on the Masculine Geek Life public-facing side of the Masculine Geek Life site. So, what are you doing over there, Amos?
Oh, I'm looking at the chat.
Okay.
Esports. D&D as an esport, I don't think would work.
No.
Yeah, there's a.
Who the hell wrote that?
You did, you son of a bitch.
I'm like, how? I mean, what are you gonna,
No,
yeah,
I was what I was
dice
kind of getting
workout
at is with esports now becoming more mainstream in universities. That
I
just
see what
wondered
you're saying,
if they're so
D&D used to be mainstream in universities. Right. Yeah, it was a thing. D&D clubs.
And so
there was a club thing. It wasn't a competitive. This is
So the university where I teach built a 1,800-foot esports arena, and it opens up this fall. And so they just did the press release on it, and it has the competitive. Like theater seating and all of that, and a big screen, and some kids, I don't know, college kids come in and watch, and they're in a league with other colleges. Mm-hmm. And it's attached to the building where I instruct, which is like 120 years old, and now there's this new wing for esports on the one side of it. So I don't know, just think it's kind of
cool. Gonna do?
They did, but I can find it here in just a second.
While you're looking that up, Geeky, there are several different sources you can go to for print on demand, first edition, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I know Vince has shared links in other shows, but
one of them is called the DM's Guild, all one word. DM Guild or DM's Guild. Let me get it for you. Hang on.
It's the DM's Guild.
DM's Guild.
If you just search that up in Google,
and then like drive through RPGs and other places.
They're all linked. They're all linked together. Yeah. Let me share the screen.
By one bookshelf.
Yeah.
But you could also maybe
I think
find.
It used to be owned by Paizo, but not anymore.
Yeah, but you might be able to find copies at like a used bookstore, half price books, old comic book stores, and obviously eBay. But
what is this gay shit? All right, I have to scroll past that because that's fucking gay. All right,
that's 5th edition.
Let's go over. Fucking ridiculous.
Basically,
it's D&D Classics. I forget it. Stupid. All right, there you go. This classic stuff's much better. But you can get a lot of the old adventures. They're doing print-on-demand physical copies, and they do that for the.
That brown book up in the right-hand corner is Player's Handbook 1E. That's the jacket for like the anniversary edition that they did, but it says right there, Player's Handbook 1E, $9.99. So
yeah. You get them on eBay. You can go to Abe Books and find a few things. But anyway, all right. So it is now the 2 hour and 2 minute mark. We're going to keep it at the 2 hour mark. So, all right, everyone. It's been a distinct pleasure. This has been a fun discussion. I've had fun tonight. This is cool. Always like talking about tabletop gaming and D&D and whatnot. And like I said, be on the lookout for more information regarding the American Tabletop Gamers Society that TJ and I are doing, and also with Robert and Amos and James and the rest of the MG Life crew on the periphery. More information will be coming out within the next 2 to 3 weeks, so stay tuned. So let's do some housekeeping. Robert, where can everyone find you?
Robert Kuzlin on Twitter and Instagram and occasionally on YouTube, and as a member of the Masculine Geek.
Exactly. TJ, how about yourself? Where can they find you?
You can find me at tjmartinell.com.
Awesome. Doc, what's up with you? Where can they find you?
Safetyphd.com.
Cool. And second to last, Amos, what do you got going on? Where can everyone find you if they want to get a hold of you or follow your stuff?
Twitter.
Thank you. That's very vague.
Look for me at Twitter.
Look for me at Twitter. We just, yeah, okay. God damn. Jesus. James.
All right, you can find me on Buy Me a Coffee at Asher Creativity.
There you go.
buymeacoffee.com/Asher Creativity.
I like it. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's been fun interacting with the chat and fielding your questions, as always. And everyone who is listening and watching later, thank you for joining us. And until next time, TJ, take us out.
All right, guys. Keep the fires burning. Keep the lead chewing down range. Keep the wine flowing. Don't take any wooden nickels, and don't drink all the rum.
Shot for wooden nickels.